Well, hello once again. Back again for the My Team series. This time, it's the team's home Grand Prix. It's the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone, where Formula One was introduced in 1950. The first ever time we raced in Formula One was here at Silverstone. And you might notice something different about the look of that car. You might be thinking, "Ooh, it looks a bit different," and you would be right to think that, and also the race suits as well. And with that R&D upgrade, by the way, let's just mention, we've now jumped ahead of Williams again. And so we are now back above Audi and Williams. So the upgrades are working very well here. We're going to give Victor Martin a grid penalty nonetheless for new components. Let's do some more facility upgrades in the engineering side of things. But here it is, the British Grand Prix special livery. It's a mix of the blue and the red and the white with a hint of the team's purple. We are using the British colours here to symbolise the team's home Grand Prix. To symbolise that we mean business here at Silverstone. We want to do well because it is our home Grand Prix, and what better place to do a special livery at home, the place you have called where you lived for oh so long. The sponsor on the front is also red to symbolise Britain as well. The race number you can see on the fin is also red as well. So we're using just full British colours here, apart from obviously the purple, because we want to keep a hint of our team's speciality in design. And this is going to be a livery we're going to use going forward, not the blue. We are going to change to the purple and that, but we are going to use that concept livery. And we have an advancement in our driver talks with Victor Martins. Obviously, I will reiterate this. Because you're seeing these meetings with Gabriele Mini and Victor Martin, it doesn't mean we're going to go with them for next season. We might replace them both. We might keep them both. We might replace one. That is going to be that's going to be the factor we are unsure about as of yet. We have a good chance to sign him nonetheless, so we could go risky and go for a Max Verstappen. But obviously, the funds will not probably won't hold up with it if we got Max Verstappen. Nonetheless, though, messages, power development upgrade. Let's go. And then we can head on with some more research done for the tyre blankets, and we can get another message, driver talks debrief, saying it went well with Victor Martins, and we have another owner training point as well. So we can continue to upgrade ourselves as an owner, and we're really focused on the personnel side of things here. Probably should have done that. Nonetheless, we can go on a development upgrade as well for the aerodynamics, as a corporate facility upgrade is also done as well. So we can just finish it. We can continue upgrading the corporate side of things, and then we can also go to apply an upgrade, do some more development as well in terms of aerodynamics. That'll be done in time for Zandvoort over the summer break. In terms of assign upgrades though, we put this upgrade on, and we now go back. Williams got back ahead of us. We go ahead of VCOP and Williams, so we are now the 7th fastest car on paper at least, so not too shabby. 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th. Yeah, we are the 7th team. I was making sure I was right. In terms of tyre allocation, we're going to go for balanced here at Silverstone. It is a sprint weekend, something I completely forgot about when I was actually recording this. We're going to go to Gabriele Mini. So, let's go to the garage here at Silverstone for sprint qualifying for the British Grand Prix race weekend.
It's sprint qualifying time, slightly shorter than the normal Grand Prix qualifying, but today we'll determine who starts on pole for the sprint to come.
So on our first lap here at Silverstone in SQ1 on that medium compound of tyre, through the Vale and club chicane, foot to the floor, battery to use all the way to the line. Crossing the line is going to be a 128.446 P13 at this current moment in time in the running order. Then we go again on this same set of tyre. We make our way towards the Vale and club chicane once again. 0.4 of a second up, touch the grass though, under braking. That will send us in deep and cost us a hatful of time. 4.6 tenths up. That goes down to 1.9 tenths up. So we lost to basically near on 0.3 of a second in that sector. Nonetheless, we are through in 12th position. And quite a promising start, really. I was expecting to be really slow in comparison to the AI because of the battery, but we're able to actually compete quite well in terms of our car. Only a second away from Norris, considering the gap in car performance here. And the lap, obviously, there was definitely time in that lap. We could have maybe jumped up to P9, P8, P7 with that if we hadn't messed up that final sector. So Lando from Hamilton, then it's Antonelli, Piastri, Leclerc, Russell, Gasly, Albon, Isaac Hadjar, Lawson, Bottas, ourselves in 12th ahead of Behrman, Max Verstappen again in SQ1, low down the order from Hulkenberg, then it's Alonso, Bortoletti in the 7th to fall, Perez, Lindblad, Sainz, Ocon, Colapinto, Victor Martins and Lance Stroll. On to SQ2 then, here at the British Grand Prix race weekend. We're hoping to maybe have a miraculous effort into SQ3, through the left, through the right, around the final corner, turn 18. And where can we put this car crossing the line now? 12th fastest, but you see at the end of the middle sector, we was a second away from Gasly's time. Verstappen now the driver at risk here. We're not improving. We've completely fluffed up that middle sector as we go up and around the final couple of corners here, just trying to send it in. The rig is out. We clattered the sausage curve as well, and around we go. And here is SQ2. Norris again top from Russell, Antonelli, Piastri, Hamilton, Gasly, Albon, Hadjar, Leclerc, Verstappen just through ahead of Lawson, and it's Alonso, ourselves in 13th, and then it's Behrman, Hulkenberg, Bottas and Bortoletti. For the sprint race, let's head to the grid, shall we? 9 laps around Silverstone circuit. Let's go to the grid.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. The 3.6 mile long Silverstone circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and of Copse flat out. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Norris, Oscar Piastri and Antonelli, Verstappen, Hadjar, Gasly and Alex Albon, Lawson, Alonso, Gabriele Mini and Behrman, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Gabriel Bortoletti and Sergio Perez, Lindblad, Sainz, Ocon, Colapinto, Martins and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I love being here at Silverstone. I know you do too, mainly because we get to sleep in our own houses for a week. But what do the drivers enjoy most about this track?
Well, Silverstone's such a challenging circuit, Crofty, more so for the car than the driver, because these high-speed corners at Silverstone really test this modern-day F1 machinery to its maximum. We don't get that many times throughout the calendar. I can only think of Suzuka and Spa, maybe Qatar as well, with that high-energy cornering that you get here at Silverstone. So the drivers love throwing the car around through corners like Copse, Maggots and Beckett's, for example, and it's really influential for your lap time as well.
So here we are on the grid at Silverstone. The formation up underway for this sprint race here. Every single driver, as expected, of course, is on that medium compound tyre. Something that isn't expected was to see Alonso all the way up here. But nonetheless, we have a job to do, and that is to get into the top 8 from 13th on the grid. It is doable on race starts because we know we can send it on the AI in comparison to what the AI could do to us. But nonetheless, we slowly approach our grid spot here, 0.3 metres away from the optimal grid position. And we will head to the 5 red lights on at Silverstone. For the British sprint race, we go racing towards Abbey Corner, and it's quite a decent start. Already jumping Fernando Alonso into turn number 1. We look for the inside line, getting past Liam Lawson. Then we're going to look to maybe make it 3, maybe 4 wide around the outside. We do get the position past Hadjar, past Albon, past them all. On the inside to the outside of Gasly, through the loop and onto Aintree we go. A foot to the floor, battery will be depleting all the while, and we're going to look to maybe make this move on Pierre Gasly towards Brooklands corner. Not only Gasly, Verstappen seems to be low already, and we're going to go from the inside of Gasly to the outside of Max Verstappen, who runs also deep on the brakes, almost running into us here. We then run it up the inside of Max Verstappen to give one back at him, and then on the run down towards Copse corner, who's got more battery? On the run down towards one of the most famous corners in Formula 1, we have the battery. We're able to go through, we defend the inside line so no one can get by, but then through Copse corner we go. We are into 7th from 13th. Replay of the race start then. Ferrari front row lockout. We go racing towards turn number 1. Ferraris had a pretty decent start as we make our way towards the opening corner of the circuit. The Ferraris, who have struggled oh so much, they'll be over the moon to see himself 1-2 here. But George Russell instantly looking to get involved on the act and instantly looking to get past his British compatriot and former teammate Lewis Hamilton through the loop and onto Aintree before the Wellington Straight. George Russell gets through into second position here, but into Copse corner we go. Verstappen's using more of his battery. On the run down to Copse corner, we're on the inside. Verstappen on the outside line. Pitt almost pinches us like he did to Hamilton in 21, but on this occasion, no contact there. It could be 3 wide behind into Maggotts and Beckett, but they won't be. They'll all stay well behaved. Well, on the rundown towards Village corner, we're going to do some lift and coasting. We have to get the battery up, but Gasly doesn't. Gasly dives it on the inside of Village onto the inside of loop for us, and we get through and are able to hold off Gasly on that opportunity. But then into Maggotts and Beckett, we're not using our battery because we want to use it on to the hangar straight here. Gasly's like flashing all the while through Chapel, through Maggotts and Beckett and through Chapel. Down the hangar straight we go. Gasly, battery is completely depleted here, and we fly on by. Verstappen flies on by as well, but then onto the inside of Village goes Verstappen. We try the up and under on the Dutchman through turn number 3. We go around the outside, through turn 4, sorry, around the outside and foot to the floor. Then into Brooklands we go, diving through on the inside of Max Verstappen, but he's going to continue to fight this one. Verstappen, who will not be happy to be fighting down the order here. We go side by side, minor contact between the pair of us here. Verstappen lightly wheel banging our tyre, but on the run down to Copse corner we go. We haven't got the battery to use. Albon has though. Albon flies on through, and now we got to make the move on here. Past 1, maybe past the 2nd, tapping the grass in the corner. Albon gets the old switcheroo. We gain a place on Verstappen. We do gain 1 all the while. Verstappen now looking around the outside at Copse corner. We leave him the room. Verstappen leaves the circuit. Now on the run down to Maggotts and Beckett. We're both more or less out of battery here. Through Maggotts and then through Beckett before we make our way towards Chapel. Verstappen then lifts and coasts. When we moves on the braking, we dive it on the inside line of the Dutchman and we make the move. And then on to lap number 8 here at Silverstone. We head down in towards turn number 1, but Verstappen not seem to be close enough to make that move. Through Abbey, before Farm, curb before Village. The 2 Red Bulls did do battle. We do some lift and coasting, going to the inside line as well. Verstappen tags our rear, and we're spinning off, bouncing over the curb. Floor damage, and we are pinched in between the Red Bulls. We have got floor damage, and Verstappen just like swipes across us. Verstappen swipes across us, we lose the car, and then we're out of control because of the hit, and Verstappen then just keeps turning into us and spinning us around, and the car was a lot more unbalanced than I had expected. As we apply the power, the brig goes round. Luckily no DNF, just front wing damage, but then for the lead of the sprint race, like you saw in Austria in 2026 between the 2 McLarens and Antonelli in real life. The McLarens have done exactly what they did to him here to George Russell into Brooklands. McLaren 1-2, Piastri leads, but Lando Norris looking to make the move all the way around the outside to Stowe. Norris flies on by the not the Australian driver, but in the sprint race, Lando Norris will win the British sprint race as a McLaren 1-2. Here at Silverstone, we will come home for P22 in the sprint race. And what could have been if Verstappen didn't hit us? It's Norris for Piastri and Charles Leclerc, Russell, Antonelli, Hamilton, Albon and Sainz get 3 points for Williams. And it's Verstappen from Ollie Behrman and 10th for Haas. Then it's Liam Lawson, Bottas, Ocon, Perez, Lindblad, Colapinto, Alonso, Victor Martin, Nico Hulkenberg, Gabriel Bortoletto, Lance Stroll, and then ourselves, Gasly and Hadjar round off the order. Let's go to the garage for qualifying for the British Grand Prix in 2026.
Welcome along everybody to a venue that was built for speed. Once an airfield, now one of the finest racetracks in the world. It's qualifying day here at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix.
But here we are on our first rundown through Stowe Corner. On this extra set of softs we got, because we didn't use softs in the sprint, we were able to use an extra set of tyres. Towards the Vale and Club Chicane we go. We're just trying to see what we can do through the left, through the right, and foot to the floor. Where will this lap stack us up in the running order as we cross the line? 17th. And then, not too shabby about that time so far, but we're going to have to go again. And on our final run in qualifying here, we have a bit of company. We have Mr. Esteban Ocon on our rear, and we kind of have to send it here. We kind of have to make this move. We won't have any chance of improving, so we go down the inside on Ocon, make an overtake on this lap, and that's crucial because we need to improve this time. We're down to 19th. We're going to be a 10th of a second up over the line. Is it good enough for Q2 at Silverstone? Oh, you bet it is. Just about. Norris from Charles Leclerc. Norris 4 tenths ahead of Charles Leclerc. Hamilton, Albon, Russell, Gasly, Colapinto, Verstappen, Antonelli, Piastri, Hadjar, Sainz, Lindblad, Perez for Cadillac again getting through, and it's Bortoletto, Gabriel and Mini ourselves as Lawson, and then Hulkenberg, Alonso, Bottas, Stroll, Ocon, Behrman, and Victor Martin. They're the first 7 to fall at the first hurdle here in qualifying, and then we can go to Q2 on the used tyres towards the Vale and Club Chicane, just seeing what we can get on this used tyre run, bouncing and skitting over the curbs as we make our way over the line. What would the lap time be? A 1:28.661, a second away from Hamilton here, but you're going to witness here Mrs. Me just completely sending the car. We had to go all in if we wanted the chance of Q3 here, because we needed a miraculous lap. Nonetheless, towards Village we go. Through turn 3 we go. A little bit wide at the apex there, front is not gripping up. Through turn 4 of Village and stamp on the power once again straight away. Then we go through the loop onto Aintree, down the Wellington straight. 0.08 of a second up on the rundown towards Brooklands Corner, under the bridge, towards the turn number 6 we go. Before Luffield, just using all of the curve possible. Then through Luffield, and applying the power on the rundown now towards Woodcote and Copse. Very good exit there, now gaining around a 10.5 on the exit on the rundown. Flat through Woodcote. Trizzy inviting me to the session. Go away. As we then go through Copse Corner here. We lose a bit of time because we're not using as much battery here. Just trying to optimise our battery usage for later in the lap. And you see we gain so much time back because we use the battery differently. And we actually do an Esley gain through Baggett and Beckett's, through Chapel. And then foot to the floor instantly. Battery being depleted all the way on the rundown towards Stowe Corner here. 6.5 tenths of a second up. We have to go all in if we want any shot. We're like 4 tenths away from Hadjar's time, and he's only in P13. But nonetheless, round Stowe Corner on the white line, giving it all of our all in towards the Vale and Club Chicane, through the left, through the right, towards the final corner, battery to deplete, all the way to the line. We're done better than the Delta suggested over the line. It's only 15th, but that is more than we should have got out of the car. In the garage, it said we could only gain 7.8 tenths, and we gained 8 tenths of a second on that lap. And in terms of the running order for Q2, it's Piastri from Norris, and Kimi Antonelli runs in P3. And then it'll be the Monacash driver, Charles Leclerc, in 4th ahead of Verstappen, who had a much better Q2. And then Gasly will be in P6 ahead of Albon. Franco Colapinto for Alpine getting Q3. So fair play to Alpine, getting double Q3, I think, for the first time this season. George Russell in 9th ahead of Hamilton, who just got through ahead of Carlos Sainz. Lindblad, Hadjar, Lawson, ourselves in 15th. It'll be then Gabriel Bortoletto in 16th, and then Sergio Perez for Cadillac in P17. Let's go to the grid then for the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone.
You join us in the United Kingdom today, or Great Britain as it's alternatively known. Well, it's certainly a great day today as we welcome you to one of the crown jewels of British sports, a track of speed, history and drama. It's Silverstone. It's the British Grand Prix. With good opportunities to overtake at the end of the Wellington and Hangar Straights, there's a lot of potential for close action around the 3.6 miles of Silverstone circuit. With 18 corners and average lap speeds of around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the longest and quickest circuits on the calendar. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Piastri, George Russell and Antonelli, Verstappen, Gasly, Albon and Franco Colapinto, Sainz, Lindblad, Isaac Hadjar and Lawson, Mini, Bortoleto, Sergio Perez and Nico Hülkenberg, Alonso, Bottas, Stroll, Ocon, Behrman and Victor Martins rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. In Formula One, Ant, we take every race as it comes, and there's always another race next week. But some milestones are worth thinking about. This, double figures now for our new team.
Yeah, the team's 10th appearance. They've done well to this point. They're getting their foot through the door, but there's a lot more to come. Much tougher tracks where you've got to get even more performance out of your car.
Well, on the grid then, lining up in P15, it's a mix of medium and soft compound tyres here today. And it seems that on my MFD, it suggested me the one stop. So I'm expecting the guys on the mediums surely to do the one. I'm expecting everyone really to do the one stop here. You could even make soft medium work. It's hard, but it is doable here at Silverstone. Nonetheless, though, in towards our pit box, 0.1 meters away from our spot here, and we go to the 5 red lights on for the British Grand Prix. 5 on, and we go racing towards turn number 1, and we've had quite a decent start again already, going wheel towards Bortoleto and a little wheel towards Lawson, and we sail, oh my word, around the outside of about 4 or 5 cars. From 15th to 10th already, diving through on the inside, side by side, with now Carlos Sainz in the Williams. Outside line will then favour us in the loop, apply the power on the exit, down in towards Aintree, and then down on the run down towards Brooklands Corner. We're using our battery to try and make this move on Carlos Sainz. Gasly and Antonelli ahead, doing battle as well. We look for maybe an outside line on Carlos Sainz, then we have to say tuck back up, and then we take our favourite line, hugging the inside at Brooklands. Sainz to turn out of it. We then apply the power on the rundown towards Copse Corner. Sainz doesn't seem to have the battery. We go through. It was an easy move. And then to the race start, they went racing behind Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton doing battle. Another Ferrari front row lockout at Silverstone. The 2 McLarens trying to pounce on Hamilton. And for the second time at Silverstone, a British driver has jumped Hamilton off the line. It is Ferrari 1-2 being disbanded. Further behind Verstappen. And I believe Antonelli were doing battle. But then there's a replay of us just completely sailing around the outside. And then we're looking to make this move on Kimi Antonelli. And the lap 1 pace in this car seems phenomenal. Elbows out against Antonelli. We go on to braking into the Vale and Club Chicane. Touch the grass, sends us a little bit deep. And we're not going to be able to fight that one. But on this occasion, in towards Stoke Corner we go. We fly by Verstappen. And no love lost between us two here. Leaving him no room on the exit. Still become a bit annoyed from that. In the sprint, into Stowe again. On the inside of Pierre Gasly. And that's another move done. And the race pace seems to be a lot better in the Grand Prix compared to the sprint. And now we've caught up to the rear of Oscar Piastri. And this isn't even a contest as well. Past Oscar Piastri we go into 6th position in the racetrack here. We're absolutely flying here. Now they all dive into the pit lane. The race, I believe the race leader of George Russell and as well as Charles Leclerc. And then the likes of Piastri and Gasly. They all dive into the pit lane. Yellow flags are behind. I'm not exactly sure what for here. And we make our way towards turn 1. But then with the replay here, we see wheel to wheel between Limbaugh and Alex Albon. Off the road, got a pair of them. And it's a miscommunication further behind as well. Our teammate and Bortoleto as well. It's a miscommunication. One wanted to pit, one wanted to stay out. It's a safety car here at Silverstone. And Antonelli was going also slow into the pit lane here. So we're going to try and make this move on him. It's just about get slowed down for the pit entry here as we head through then the pit lane, heading towards the garages here. Antonelli surely has got to lift out of this so we can make his garage here. But no, the game just lets him go through nonetheless. We can make our way in towards our grid spot here. In towards our pit box here. Sorry, not grid spot. Anyway, where can we do? We mispressed the button. It was pitch black in my room, so I couldn't really see my buttons, and I pressed the wrong one. Either way, still a slow stop nonetheless, and a stop which should have been 3.3, 6.2. We've lost 2.9 seconds. Luckily, just come out ahead of Sainz in the Williams, and it's quite frustrating because we could have really had a pit stop like 4 seconds quicker. We could have been ahead of Antonelli, been ahead of Piastri, and maybe even Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. Nonetheless, Safety cars coming in. Let's go racing once again here at Silverstone. We're trying to hurry Piastri through the Vale and Club chicane and in towards turn number 1. We will rise, gaining in the slipstream of Piastri. We're going to maybe think of a challenge to the inside at Abbey Corner. Through turn 1 we go, and we go through instantly into 6th position, but then in towards Village. Piastri will re-challenge us on the inside, diving through, and Piastri gets that position back again, and we're not going to be able to fight the Australian here. Through the loop onto Aintree we go, and not close enough for anything here, but then into Magnus and Beckett we go later on. Gasly gets through as well, and thinking, oh, that's going to be the only place we lose here. Sainz decides to stick his car on the inside line, barges us wide, pushed the pass, you could really say that was. Sainz has got more battery as well. Sainz is going to be able to get this move done. But then into the Vale and Club chicane, we're going to dive through on the inside of Oscar Piastri and get 1 position back again. But then we can hurry on later to the Grand Prix. Lap 16, Gasly and Sainz running wheel to wheel. Gasly forces Sainz wide, and we will say thank you very much. We should now be able to get this move. We have to turn out of it again because he almost runs into us again, does Carlos Sainz, and apply the power on the rundown towards Copse Corner. And it should be a plain sailing move with the boost all the way around the outside, and we do get a position into the pit lane. Now comes like to Piastri and Russell, so we're now up into 4th position here. Into the pit lane come Norris and Hamilton as well, and then Antonelli into the box as well. We now lead the British Grand Prix, and while Norris is hunting us down, he's making 2 moves just like that. Gets past Perez, gets past Lindblad, and he's into 3rd position here, but now he's on our rear, free to go at the British Grand Prix. And can Lando Norris start off a move in the Stowe corner? We're taking alternate lines. Lando Norris sent it on the inside, and Chapel. You don't see any moves there. You never send it nowhere near close enough to make the move. And I don't believe it. Norris has taken us out. We go with just now mainly that driving our anger, because Norris has just sent it on us and just barged us out of the way. And there's no FIA system in this game unless you like straight line someone. So Norris is going to get away with it as well. That was never a move that was on here. Russell gets passed through on the exit of Luffield. Now we've got Antonelli on the final tour of this British Grand Prix. We go defensive to the inside line. Antonelli will look to try and sail around the outside line. Tries to cut back into the old switcheroo. It's going to be Norris from Russell. But which way will the podium be? Will it be ourselves or will it be Antonelli? You've got to say, that spin has probably cost us this podium if we do lose it, because of the fact that we've lost probably 3-4 seconds because of it. We go through Copse Corner. Antonelli looking around the outside line. We're barging him wide, leaving him minimal room. Hard racing here at Silverstone on the final lap towards Magnus and Beckett. Side by side we go. Inside turns to the outside for us, but we haven't got the grip as we turn in for Chapel. The fronts are just giving up, and Antonelli, he's got the podium. There's no way we're going to gain all this time back. On the run down to Stowe Corner, Antonelli is going to be fully ahead as we go on to braking. Kibbe will be on the podium with George Russell. It'll be Lando Norris, who controversially is going to make his way around the final corner to win the British Grand Prix again. We come over the line in P4 at Silverstone, and what could have been.
And here he comes. It's all go, go, go for Lando Norris as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
And it's always good, Crofty, to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
It's what every driver imagines when they start out on their long road towards Formula One. And for our lucky 3 today, here's the podium waiting for them. He raises the trophy over his head. Lando Norris, head and shoulders above the rest today.
In terms of running order, it's Norris from Russell, and then it's Antonelli ourselves in 4th with Lewis Hamilton in P5 here at Silverstone, and then it's going to be Isaac Hadjar in P6. Hamilton, the sole Ferrari that finished today. Charles Leclerc did retire, was an engine failure. It's then Piastri, Gasly, Verstappen, Sainz, Lawson, and then it will be Albon. Perez again for Cadillac, that is getting close. Then it's Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Colapinto, Bortoletto, Behrman, Victor Martin, Fernando Alonso in P20, Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, Ocon, and then you see Charles Leclerc there The pole sitter is the only DNF here. Driver standings then, Norris from Piastri, McLaren 1-2, and it's Antonelli from Russell, Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton, Isaac Hadjar in P8 now ahead of us. P9 is Gabriele Minis, and then P10 is Victor Martin. But our drivers now separated by a singular point here, and it's Sainz, Albon, Gasly, Lawson, Colapinto, Lindblad, Hulkenberg, and Perez, Alonso, Bortoletto, Bottas, Behrman, Ocon, and Stroll. And the drivers still yet to score points here. And then the constructors is McLaren from Mercedes. And it's Ferrari, Red Bull. We're gaining on Red Bull, so we could have a chance to maybe to rival somewhat for 4th in the constructors. It'll be Williams, Alpine, Racing Bulls, Audi, and then the 3 teams still yet to score was Cadillac, Aston, and Haas. If you did enjoy today, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be back for more for the Belgian Grand Prix. But from me, ciao, adios. I'll see you for the next one.